All right, let's get into the 5 tips for selling your house right now, end of 2022. Here we go. I'm Sam, and thanks for coming by the Living in Tampa channel, where we make videos about living in Tampa. If that's something you want to follow along with, don't forget to subscribe. We're also a team of realtors, so if you have any need for our services, we would love to help you. Phone number and email are right there on the screen and in the description down below. You know, most of the videos we make is about buying houses. I want to talk a little bit about selling and some of the mistakes I'm seeing people make that are listing houses right now. Selling your house is stressful, it's overwhelming, all the prep required, all the uncertainty, especially in a market like this. But sometimes you still just have to sell. You can't wait till the spring when prices might be a little higher. Typically they kind of peak for every year in the spring. And maybe you just can't wait for the market to entirely turn around. The first mistake I see happening is overpricing. So number one, don't overprice your home. What I mean by this is you look at comparable sales of other homes that have sold in the area within the past few months. But the market a few months ago was a very different market than we're in now. So you really might want to look at the end of 2019 prices and comparables to right now and price a little over those ones. Now, I'm not saying price that low. Just make sure your agent is looking at that kind of data when they're recommending a price for your home. Now, maybe if something sold a few weeks ago, it's a really good comparable, but if something sold in July or August, it's not that valuable. It's overpriced. One of the problems with overpricing is the perception of price reductions. If you put your house on the market and then you start reducing the price, your offers are going to come in even lower than that. And that creates this kind of stagnation on the market, especially since we are coming off such a fast market over the summer, over the pandemic, where things were moving within days instead of within weeks. We'll eventually get back to this kind of normal timing of it takes 30 to 40 days to sell a property. That's normal. That's very normal. And we'll get used to that rhythm a little bit more, but right now, price reductions create the staleness to your listing. My second tip for selling your home right now is don't forget about the small things. One trick I have for this with people is walk through another house and notice all the details that are important to you. Well, maybe it's that the baseboards are clean, that, that grout is like finished all the way in the bathroom. Little tiny details like that, when you're living in a house, you don't really care about, or you don't really care about as much. One little thing that's like actually really cheap to do is to replace all of your switch plate covers and all of your plug plate covers. So throughout the whole house, if those look brand new, the house has a perception of a lot like more updated feel. Even the small little detail of minimizing your rooms for photos is really important. Whenever a photographer comes in to take photos of your home, they're gonna use a lens like I'm using right here. And see, when I get close right here, it kind of distorts the perception. That's what happens when you have a big couch in the middle of your room and they're trying to get a wide angle of that room. It makes that couch look bigger, it makes the room look smaller. By moving things that are close to the lens and that are really big out of the room for the photos, the perception of the room is quite a bit more like big and open. And that's what everyone wants, right? This open concept. Everybody wants that, me included. I don't know why I've jokingly made quotes about it. I like it too. Okay, number 3, don't rely on the buyer's agent to know what makes your house, your neighborhood, your community special. So whenever you're talking to your listing agent, make sure you're going through the details of exactly why someone would choose your home, they would choose your neighborhood, why you chose your home, your neighborhood. That needs to be in your description, that needs to be in your marketing plan, how you're presenting this listing to buyer's agents, to potential buyers. You need to be really narrow on that. All those details are actually pretty persuasive. People may not know what the schools are like or what the restaurant scene is like. Whatever it is, provide those details. Make sure you're really thinking through that marketing plan with your listing agent and coming up with a solid strategy. And the big question that you're answering with that strategy is, why would a buyer choose your house over the others in the neighborhood or the others in the town? Let's say all those things were accomplished, the house was listed and it's going okay. You're getting a few offers, but maybe they're a little bit lower. Maybe the terms are a little different, and not all offers are created equal, and there's so many details involved in an offer that might make it valuable to you. But I want to remind you of this military saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Whatever is going to be the easiest close is usually the best offer. So kind of the easiest close, and then second priority being the highest price, the best terms, the most appealing terms. But when someone's very qualified, whenever they have a job they're moving to, or they are trying to get here before school starts, those kind of details often help a transaction go a lot smoother. When the intention is really high from the buyer, they're less likely to get nitpicky with the inspection. They're less likely to be pain in the butt. Sometimes this process can get really arduous, and you're looking for the buyer that's gonna make it easy. Okay, and lastly, the last tip is thinking through your own exit strategy. If you're gonna sell a property and buy another one, lining up those things is very tricky. If you're gonna ask for post-occupancy after the contract closes, you might go to the house you're buying and the seller might be asking for it there too. So thinking through all of those kind of details, making sure you have a couple different exit strategies that could work for you is really important. And lining these kind of things up is hard anytime. It's not just in a buyer's market or a seller's market that it's difficult. It's always difficult to line these things up. And just by making sure that you have a few different paths that could work, that's really important to make it feel a little bit easier for yourself. Thanks for coming by the channel today. If you found value in this, we would love to hear from you as a subscriber, as a commenter, and as your real estate choice here in the Tampa area. Our phone number and email are right there on the screen and in the description down below. Reach out to us anytime.